episode 3.5. Because they did one without us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
It was a good topic.
Female empowerment moment, you know?
Okay.
Did you have FOMO?
No, I was listening and I was like, I don't have anything to say about this.
Okay.
Ew.
I like how you were wearing your I Love Lumpia when they've been talking about their egg rolls a lot.
I know, that's why I wore it for them.
Listen, ours are not egg rolls; they're lumpias.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
why
know.
I said I love it.
Yeah.
I love your lumpia.
Hi, welcome to another episode of
Be
Uplifted.
What the fuck was
That
that?
was
All right.
Wow, change it up.
Surprise.
Were we already recording? I
Yes.
didn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
recording
bet.
now. Okay, so that's the intro.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the topic today?
Say it, Rich.
Defining your relationship.
Yes.
Which, according to Webster's dictionary, relationship is a noun. It's the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or the state of being connected.
All right, great episode, guys. That's
Yeah.
the
And
definition.
that's the clip.
Mic Drop.
Boom.
All right, part 2.
But yeah, defining your relationship. I think that's like one of the things that I've had the most trouble with.
It's so awkward.
Yeah.
It's so awkward to have that conversation.
I said it in Tagalog once just because I was so uncomfortable saying it.
What did you say?
What the? To a girl?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, sagutin mo na ako.
Oh,
or,
shut up.
Or like, accept me.
Oh, because you were courting her. That's cute.
Yeah. Because it's because even though you guys are together, it's still like you're still facing some sort of rejaction.
Right, because
Yeah.
she
And-
hasn't fully accepted you as hers and claiming you.
Yeah.
You make me want to just like mono you real quick.
Sige na, sagot mo na ako.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
So, for those that are watching that are not Filipino, that basically, in a nutshell, means like,
Answer me.
answer me, take me as I am, will you be my girlfriend, type situation.
Yes.
So,
Answer that question. Would you be my girlfriend?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
You make it sound like we're listening to like those Filipino Tagalog songs. Like
Right?
they're so
Yeah.
love songs.
Sagutin mo na ako
Exactly.
dito sa bahay ko.
Oh my gosh. Okay, super like off topic. Me and my cousins and Jason was in the car one time and I was singing Lea Salonga Nandito Ako. And Jason's like, what the fuck? You know how to sing this shit? It was so funny.
Surprise him with a taglish.
Hella.
Taglish.
But
It's a
his
staple love song, though, that song.
it is.
I hella karaoke the shit out of that song.
Me too. On the magic mic.
Yes.
You're Filipino, if you
exactly,
know.
For sure. Okay, so I think this is an interesting question for the gentleman, right? Because I think they're almost the ones that almost have that pressure of asking, so what are we?
You know, girls can step up too. Because, like, okay, Christine, if you just text me and just be like, hey, you're my boyfriend now, I'll be like, all right, cool. I guess I'm Christine's boyfriend.
It's that easy?
Who's Christine?
That's what I was going to ask y'all.
Yeah.
Dang, I was trying to help him out and just let it slide.
Yo. She's one of my models.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
New one.
Ooh, juicy.
Did she?
It's not
thirst
new. I
trap
just
or
never talked to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
So I think girls go through that too. Like when it's like a player, right? Like they're like, so am I just getting fucked by this guy, or are we something? Is this going somewhere? Kind of a thing. Guys, how do you determine when you're ready to define the relationship?
When you're texting them and you're laying on your stomach and your feet are in the air. So okay, what are the different stages first?
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do
So
that.
I guess the first one would be talking. I guess
Talking,
right?
yeah.
The introduction.
Yeah, and then so like when do you know that? What are the signs that that give away that is exclusive? Like you're talking to that person.
When they start becoming a normal routine in your day. Not like it becomes a routine, but like them becomes a part of your day every day.
It's like an investment part of
Right.
What you
Starting
just
to become
said.
a consistent part of your day. Like, okay, I talk to this person every day. They're the person I think about.
we see each other consistently, or if you're in long distance, I know it's kind of hard, but like FaceTime dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in a long distance relationship right now. My girl is in the future. Yep, that's far as hell.
I think once you start doing things that are like no longer just dating, you know what I mean? Like as far as like the courtship part of the dating.
So
is
like
dating,
everyday type shit, like going shopping together or some shit like that, or
No, like I mean, like
that's some couple shit.
yeah,
not a couple.
like
That's
like if you
Yeah.
you guys were, how do I describe?
Give
this?
an example.
Like
So confused.
Same.
like going on vacation. Like if you were going to go like San Francisco, but again, no, actually,
Low key, I feel like that's way too extreme.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
really extreme. Okay, so you're talking, right?
It's been
And
a
you're
while,
ready
guys,
to
I'm
move
sorry.
it to the next stage. What's the next stage of talking?
I think dating is
So dating,
Yeah.
and then so you're ready to move it to the next one. What's the next
Wait,
stage?
what's the difference between talking and dating?
Oh yeah, let's establish.
I
that.
think talking leads up to dating because like if you're talking, you're getting to know if you want to take them on a date. You don't date them to to talk.
Physically going out on a date.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm talking about, going out to actually meet up, whether it's just for coffee or if you're going to go to a club, which I hope that that's not anybody's first date, but whatever.
Would you consider
$2
going on a
steaks.
coffee date a first date, or could that still be in the stages of talking?
I think that that's a date because you're like, planning that. You know what I'm saying?
But what if it's platonic at
disagree.
first? Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Why do you disagree?
I disagree because, like, okay, now in the world that we're in right now, a lot of people are doing the whole online dating.
But that's a scheduled agreement to be together, whether it's like through a screen or it's what's it called, in person, right?
So-
Doesn't that like the whole date? You're planning something, correct?
Like it's a date.
I say, like, okay, the thing would be different for me is if like it's a consistent dates, then it's dating. But if it's just like a meetup and let me catch your vibe, then it's still talking for me.
I agree with that. I'm gonna have to second that.
Yeah, I can see it from
Okay.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think as far as like explaining what you did, I think people just say, "Oh, we went on a couple coffee dates," just to make it
Yeah.
like because it's just
Still casual, but it's still consistent.
yeah. Because if you explain the whole thing, nah, we just met on a platonic level to go see if there was, it's just way too long
Yeah,
of an
too
explanation.
Do you think it's important to talk about like the different phase of going from talking to dating, or is it just assumed?
It starts assumed, but there's no confirmation until there's confirmation. I don't think that you're at that stage.
Right. Okay. I agree. Because I'm like, I need to hear that. Like, oh, we're dating now. So I know we're on the same page.
Did they just say it like that? We're dating now.
No, but it's like, okay, let me rewind to like old Lonnie.
Yeah, what's not a weird way to bring that up?
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of times where we're gonna take back some of the things that we say. It's like, wait,
Right?
no, wait, I'm guilty of this.
Yeah. I think in my past experience, when we've gone on consistent dates, like, hey, so like, I just want to know, do you like me? Like, can you, not saying I don't want to be official with you, but do you see that us like continuing on what we're doing right now? And you say yes or no, like, okay, well, would you consider us like dating now then?
I think another
Without a
factor-
label?
Yeah, so I agree with that. I think another factor is really asking the question, like, so are you seeing anyone else?
That's a good one.
That's something that I was actually gonna ask. What between the difference of talking and dating, is it acceptable to be talking to multiple people at that stage, or is it already become exclusive? Like this is the talking phase, part one.
I
then
think it's
part
okay
two.
to talk to multiple people because it's still very, like, I think if you require that much commitment off the bat like that, like you're only allowed to talk to me, that's a lot to ask for that early, you know?
I personally find that so confusing. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's
I know a lot
like
of people
if I meet somebody and then we're talking, it's almost like I gotta see how this goes before I go over
Commit,
here.
yeah.
It's just because there's so many you're my sense. It's like sensory overload.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like how do I know? Like how do I know this is much more of my sensual side and this is much more of my basto side?
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're fighting
There's
each other, and I
difference,
just don't know whether or not I trust the kinky side, which is going to go terribly wrong.
Like, are you thinking with your penis or your
Exactly,
brain?
or am I thinking like on a
That's a
different
good
level
point.
over here?
Well, that was
So you're almost figuring out on your own, kind. I mean, with yourself. I mean, too, right?
No. You said, with Vince asked, is it okay for you to be seeing additional people? I said, I don't care, but for me, I couldn't do it just because I'm battling that.
I see.
Those two sides.
Would you be okay with knowing that the girl that you're seeing or whatever talking to is doing that?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I did my best.
Yeah.
So I'm not at fault for anything. It's not like I totally like left that,
Yeah. Okay, just curious because I know some guys are like, no, if we're talking, then you're only talking to me. But if you're okay with other girls
that's one of the things too, though, is, and this goes with the whole accountability and a lot of previous episodes is the thing that, like, I can't control what you do, but I can control how I feel about it, and personally, even if it's just the talking phase or if I just met them like, yesterday or something like that, I would already be monogamous to that because I wouldn't want any side, distractions to ruin what potentially might become.
Yeah, I wish I told my younger self that because I used to with multiple people.
Yeah,
But I feel like that kind of like for me, I feel maybe this is like the naive part of me, but I feel like you will find your way back to each other if you're really meant to be together.
Right. Yeah,
So.
I agree.
If it's not too late.
Yeah, if it's not too late, that's true.
Yeah.
But like in your 20s and late mid-20s, I don't think you should like really like worry about like, is this the one necessarily? I think you should still enjoy your time when you're young,
What are some things or like topics that you should talk about during your talking phase?
Like anything. I mean, it's like
It's really just getting to know each other, right?
What are your interests? What are your
Okay, so what's the difference from the conversations you have as talking versus dating?
Well, see, this is another
is
thing that I
making
actually
plans.
wanted to talk about too, because in a previous episode, I also said, don't disclose, like, oh, this is the perfect man for me. This is the perfect girl for me. Because then that's going to skew it to where the lust is going to take over and they're going to
Try to be those things.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, that's really hard. This is kind of why I wanted to have this topic, is because I don't know how to talk to girls.
I think that's kind of where the talking phase is for me personally, is like, it really is just feeling the vibe, which is it for me, the talking phase. It's like, do we laugh at the same jokes together when we're talking? Do they find me entertaining when we're chatting? Like, does it feel easy when we hang out with each other?
Yeah.
And if all of the answers to that is yes, then we'll move on to dating. Okay, well, now let's talk about meeting up somewhere and like investing time within one another, so.
And how long does that normally take? At least for you. Does it take like 5 coffee dates? So let's say 5 weeks. Like almost a month.
I don't know. That's like hard for me to say. I think it really depends on
The person.
the chemistry and the person, because I've definitely had people grow on me, and then other people were immediately, you were just like, the chemistry.
Okay, you've grown on me. I want to feel you grow in me.
That part. I'm just kidding. What about you? Like, what is there a number to you or something like that?
I don't. You know what? I've never really like put that into. It's generally like if there's a groove there,
Yeah.
probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say that I was hearing this dating coach and they're saying that you'll know by the third date if this person's like worth your time.
Well, see, I think that it takes me 2 hours of quality time with them to see if I even want to pursue something. Because I've talked to somebody and I'll just be like, oh, this person's hella cool, and having a real conversation that can be carried out, either if it's, 2 1-hour conversations or 4 30-minute conversations, or straight 2 hours where we're just like, oh, I lost track of time. That would get me to the point where like, oh, we're talking now.
So what happens? Like, let's say you did spend that 2 hours, right? And everything's like going as planned, all perfectly. And then let's say you're an outdoorsy type, right? Like kind of you like hiking, you like bungee jumping, and then the next week you're like, hey, by the way, hey, you want to go, doing things that you like, and I'm like, and she's like, nah, I'm not that type of girl.
Well, see, I wouldn't ask it like that. Like, I would say, hey, I'm gonna do this. Do you want to come along? And be like actually follow through with that, because let's say if I did want to go camping and she's not that type of girl, I'm still gonna go camping.
No, I'm saying, but does it kill it right there?
No, it doesn't, because like I've said before, I don't want to be somebody's whole world. I just want to be their favorite part. So as long as like I have somebody to tell my awesome camping trip stories to, where obviously I'll read the room and make sure that she is into the story or whatever. And if she likes you genuinely, she'll want to hear more about how well your day went, as opposed to all of the activities that went on through that. So like I can still share my feelings, my emotions, my experiences without getting into the details that she doesn't care about.
I agree with that.
So yeah, did that answer your question? Yeah.
So you're basically saying you're perfectly fine with her dating another dude and just you being the special part.
Sure. That's fine. Because all the things that I used to prioritize and let her take over, I can quickly go back to those.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. What you're saying is that like what you were planning to do, just still do it, because then it's like you're not losing yourself either.
Exactly. And I think that's a really big point in the relationship. Yeah, is make sure that you still have the relationship with yourself. Like you're still gonna grow up to be the person that you want to be, and then it's cool that she comes along on the ride. Because like I've said before, what was it? I don't know. I have these weird quotes. It's not your job to make their day good. It's just your job to make their day better. So I'm still gonna have a good day. It would have been cool if you were there too. But hey, maybe you don't like ice skating. Maybe you don't like playing World of Warcraft or yeah.
So what takes it from dating to now monogamous relationship?
That's hard.
Yeah, I've had like the odd like, so like me and you we like like I'm saying like, so about us, is it like just me
Nowadays,
and
you have
you?
to see that Facebook official post.
Yeah,
That's
you have to
is.
see that, or actually nowadays you got to see them in the story or whatever.
I would
exactly.
definitely hide that. I don't. That's one thing I would never do, is post that on Facebook like that. But
the change the relationship.
yeah,
Damn, I'm guilty. I just did mine like not that long ago. but
I'm like, yeah. So me and you, are we like, like,
it's such an awkward. Yeah.
It's very awkward.
And then, but then it's awkward. But then I think the last time that happened, I was like, yeah. I mean, and then you run around, you go, she loves me.
She loves me. She loves me not.
Yeah.
You know what you can do to test this? You can always just slip in a babe there. And if she says it back to you, then it's like, okay, we're.
Unless you're me.
Or me. Right.
I feel like for me, a big sign of that, where you should have that conversation, is when you start including that person into family parties, holidays, things like that.
But here's the tricky part about the family parties, is when she shows up with you, how do you introduce her?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you're like, this is my.
Well, I honestly, if it's a planned party, I don't think that I would bring her unless I'm ready to say this is my girlfriend.
Okay.
Now, if I'm chilling and like, I didn't know that Uncle Butch was gonna come through. Hi, Uncle, and it's like, oh, who's this? And it's like, sorry.
On some real shit, I do the same thing too. My friend.
This is so and so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But
I'm not defining this in front of you right now.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, Thanksgiving is going on, and it's like, you know what, babe, I'd like for you to come and meet my family. Then I'm at that point, I'll be like, yo, it's Thanksgiving. This is my girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, I think the moment you invite somebody home for Thanksgiving, it's
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like there's certain family parties, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, that there's like you either if you're gonna bring that person to that family party, it's like they better be like legit. Like
Right.
Christmas, that's a big deal in our family.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is a big deal.
Arbor Day.
No, like Easter, fuck that.
Yeah.
Do they have to live south of Escondido?
I'm not Rochelle. No, I mean mine does.
Has there ever been a point where you genuinely felt that you were at a certain stage in a relationship, but clearly from the other person's perspective you weren't?
Yeah.
What can you describe that to me? And how did you know the differences?
Like how did I know that he wasn't where I would want to be at?
Yeah. Or you weren't where he wanted you to be at.
So my last relationship with my ex, we were together for a year, and I still haven't met his friends. I barely just met his mom, and his mom was inviting me to family parties, but he wasn't.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is very interesting.
And that should have been a red flag for me. But I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I even asked him, I was like, is it weird? Like, do you even want me to go? Because your mom invited me. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't invite
Right.
me. That's kind of weird, you know? And then, like, even his friends, like, the way that they found out about me was because I was at his house dropping something off, and he was planning to go hang out with his friends, and his friends pulled up, but instead because he's like, oh yeah, we're on your way to your house, he's like, hey, give me like 15 more minutes or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then but they end up still showing up 15 minutes earlier, and I was still at the house, and he kind of like, when we were walking out to leave, he didn't even introduce me or anything. He was just like, okay, bye, like, bye. Like, he gave me one of those.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
that wasn't a red flag to you. You didn't go, what the fuck?
well, I did bring it up to his attention, but also like the place where I was at, I didn't give myself enough time and space from my first toxic relationship, so I just let it go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, lesson learned though, right?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I don't know. I hope this is on topic. Who do you think falls in love faster, guys or girls?
Girls, for sure. Girls are way more emotional. I just don't. I think girls are stubborn, though. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to say I love you first.
In my experience, it was the guy.
What about you?
Well, I mean, same with me. Like,
Yeah.
guys always fucking hella fell for me hard, but like, I think girls fall in love faster, generally speaking. Because I see a lot more girls crying about guys than I see guys crying about girls. Because guys kind of like, you guys have even said that, like, you'll shoot 10 shots and be happy with the one that makes it, you know, whereas like girls, they kind of like zero in on the one dude that they're choosing, you know, like,
Yeah.
they get butthurt when
guess.
they don't get that guy.
Wait, why were you asking?
No, I'm just curious. What about
Okay.
you? What do you think?
I would probably say the guys do it, but they just, I just don't. You know, I've recently, lately, whatever you want to put it, I haven't said it. It just because there's trauma involved in it. It's like I don't want to ever put myself in that pickle.
Wait, are you admitting right now that you're talking to somebody?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Okay, go ahead.
My opinion on this, I think that guys 100% fall in love before the girl does.
But is it fall in love or fall in lust?
Lust.
See, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say, because we're
but-
talking love here, right? And,
Okay.
like, guys fucking
Yeah.
fall for girls left and right.
Yeah,
If
because
talking
we're
love,
visually, you know,
Right,
but-
exactly.
But at the same time, that is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it does sound like lust, but at the same time, when you're in love with somebody, that's when you start making those bad decisions. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that it's easier for a guy to get to that point where mentally they're just not making the right decisions just because they want something. Then they're, you know, like really, what's it called? They see what they want, you know, versus girls, they have to fall in love because, you know, you fall in love with our personality, our, what's it called?
Good looks.
Not really.
I agree with you. Like if we're talking that, like lust factor, I think guys kind of they do that more.
But I don't think that they're like psychologically. I don't think that there's a difference between like and or the love and lust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm able to. In a relationship, I don't think I've ever been able to distinguish lust and love.
Right.
Yeah.
I think with my daughter, I know what love is, but like
but in a relationship, like there's times where I'm in that stage where I love somebody, and there's a time where I lust over them. And to be honest with you, the emotion and the feelings that I get are exactly the same.
What about you, Ari? Do you think females have a differentiation between lust and love?
I think the difference between females, and I think we've talked about this when it was just me and you, is we do know the difference between lust and love with us. Like, when we love a guy, we're willing to do a lot more. When like a dude is just like, oh yeah, that dude was a fucking good fuck, you know, like we know that. Like we have decided already in our brain what you're going to be to us. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
I mean, not all women, obviously everyone's different, but generally speaking, when I speak to women, like they know pretty early on what this guy is going to be. Like, oh, this is just a fucking sneaky link, or I see a future with this guy, you know?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but
you're wrong.
I've noticed it's between like the girls who are street smart and that are not street smart. At least from my experience with my homegirls.
Oh yeah, you mean like knowing the difference? Yeah, I think so too. I think so many girls that are not street smart like fall into that like Cinderella fantasy. You know, you're fed with like the princess stories and stuff like that. So they think every interaction with that next guy is going to be that immaculate love story. Whereas like street smart girls who've seen trauma or whatever you want to call it, you know, we're kind of like, but is it though? Is this love though?
Oh yeah, I've had to check a couple of my homegirls. Like, no, bitch, that's just attention that they're giving you.
Right.
So it's like the Rancho Bernardo girls versus the Skyline girls.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
I'm a Rancho Bernardo girl. No, I'm just kidding.
Poway.
Poway RB. That's like my area right there.
I just don't consider. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing, but I don't really consider you that.
I've been told that. Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you.
For those not listening, Rancho Bernardo is kind of like the
more swanky,
like wealthier side of San Diego.
And Skyline is all. No, just kidding.
Gang signs.
No, they play guitar.
Guitar Hero rock band.
Yeah.
But has any dude ever like progressed the stage of the relationship when you haven't been quite ready yet?
Yes.
But okay, let me ask you this: is it?
She's laughing.
There must be some comedy.
I know. I'm like,
I gotta hear that.
You know what? I want to hear this.
Yeah,
sorry.
Elaborate on that.
Right.
So
Elaborate on this.
There's this one guy, and the way he wanted to stage it was, he said, "Would you believe me if I said?" And then I go, "In love?" And he goes, "Are you trying to tell me you're in love with me?" I'm like, "No, I'm just quoting the fucking song." He goes, "Oh well, I'm in love with you." I'm like, cringe.
Wait, hold up.
Right. That's why I was laughing, because I was like,
well, how many weeks in?
This was probably like
at first sight.
You're like 4 months. Yeah.
No, like I think this was like 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
In love already.
I'm like,
he must have wanted that poon pretty bad.
Oh, I didn't give it to him for a while.
That's pretty sure. That's why he's like, I'm in love with you. Couldn't distinguish it.
Yeah, that's the cheat code. He was all like, how can I unlock this achievement?
But the fact that he quoted a song to tell me.
Bitch better have my money. What the
I'm sorry. That's why I was laughing when you said it, because that was the first thing that popped in my head.
He's all Savage Garden about it. I knew I loved you
before I met. Okay, no, we can't get what's it called?
Yeah, copyright strike.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
so the question that I was gonna ask is, do you think that it's more so the guy's job to take the initiative to define the relationship?
Wait, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. For me, I would, if I want to know the question, I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, I think I'm headstrong like that too. Like I'm not gonna like tippy toe. Like I'm gonna be like, so like,
Now, is that a be uplifted answer or is that a generality? Do your homegirls?
Yeah, you can literally. We can call like Jason right now, and then he'll tell you.
Jason's not a homegirl for those.
He was a homegirl before.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to reflect on my friends.
I'm just kidding.
I think it goes back, maybe not a street smart thing, but I think it's definitely more like girls that are very. It's a personality thing, right? I think more than a gender thing, because like I do have girlfriends that are like, no, I don't want to say I love you first. You know, no, I don't want to ask. Cause
That's so immature.
Like, I don't want to ask because what if it's too soon? And I have the other set of homegirls that are more like me and Lonnie that are like, no, dude, like I'm in control. Like, what the fuck are we? You know, like
Right.
I'm not gonna sit around and wait for you. You know, like you
don't,
told me.
Yeah, don't wait for me to go. Me, you.
What do you gentlemen prefer, generally speaking?
Well, okay. First off, touching back on the what if it's too soon? Who cares? If it's too soon and you're not in the same place, you don't have to be in the same place at the same time. You know, as far as like that part in the relationship, you can, and I'll openly admit, I like you way more than you like me, but hopefully we'll get there. You know what I'm saying? There's no problem and there's no shame in
being different stages.
Yeah, exactly.
Would it creep you out though if a girl was like madly in love with you and you weren't there yet? That doesn't creep you out a little bit?
No,
I'm not. I'm never gonna get creeped out about a girl that's in love with me, especially if I like her enough to spend time.
But that's
with
what
her.
I mean. What if you're not liking her? You're not in the same place.
well, if
Like,
I'm not liking her, I'm
no,
not dating
I mean
her.
you're like, oh yeah, she's cool, but she's like, I see it like let's have babies and like talking about that kind of shit already.
Well, how early are
Like
you talking?
early.
Like how early? Not the first week.
Let's say the first month. Let's say that.
The first month, I'll probably like slow down.
I had a long-term relationship with a girl that told me that she loved me on the first day.
So that doesn't turn you off then. If it's a girl that you're not feeling as hard, that expresses super hard feelings for you, that doesn't turn you off a little bit, like maybe it's a red flag that she's falling so fast so soon.
No, that would be a red flag for me, and actually, that would make me second guess everything I do from that point on.
Okay, so that was my
Thank
question.
you.
Yeah.
It's just because now I don't know like how to proceed. Like, is it going too fast? Is it going?
Is she gonna take it the wrong way?
Yeah, and it's like, what exactly is happening here? You know, let me. Then my normal instinct would be, let me take 3 steps back.
Right, you
and
almost
kind of
pull
go
away more,
and go.
yeah.
Hold on, wait, what? Like, I gotta breathe. You know when you're trying to breathe and focus at the same time, and you're like,
Yeah.
and you're like trying to really focus on. Yeah, that's exactly my whole thing. Like, I need to see it clearly at that point.
I think it depends on the delivery and the context too, because when she said it to me, it was very endearing, but it wasn't one of those I'm pressuring you to say it back things, you know, because it kind of slipped out when I was doing stuff with her, and like she just said it. She's like, "Oh my God, I love you," and I was like,
Doing stuff with her, huh?
Yeah, and then she was like, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was making the sex to her. I was pleasuring her vag, you know. I was practicing tongue fu. How do you want me to say? You know, but at that time, you know, she was just caught up in the moment, and it just came out, and she said it, and she immediately like didn't regret it, but then she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I said that." And to me, that was kind of like, oh, that was kind of sweet that your positive emotion just took over and you
That I ate you out so good that you couldn't hold it in anymore.
Yeah.
I would have been like, no. Now I'm not hard anymore. You ruined the mood. Damn you. Ew. What the fuck?
I ain't ready for this. Untie me. It's like,
Have you ever had a girl not say I love you back to you? And like, you know, like you, so it's the opposite of what we were just talking about. So you were like there and she was just like, thank you.
this may not be a fair question for guys just because, you know, we tend to think as logical as possible, even though we do have those moments where our emotions do take over. But I've been pretty sure that I was going to hear it back before I waited an extra 2 weeks to ask.
So basically you're saying you personally don't say something without knowing what the
So full disclosure
reciprocation is gonna
too,
be.
I also have I've self-consciously or consciously stopped saying I love you.
Yeah. Well, for me, the way around that would be like there's certain words that replace it.
Oh my gosh, that was me and Ackroyd in the beginning.
Right? When you don't want to
I
say
heart you 143.
yeah, exactly. Like I lay it. You know, but you're not saying I love you because that's like a little too straightforward. But
Right.
like Leia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just how you do it, and it just progresses into like the actual
I love you.
LOVEU.
Well,
I am fucking shocked because how many times have we told these boys like love you guys,
And they
they're
don't say
like
it back?
no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Ew, he just said yeah.
He just admitted it. That's fucked
in
up.
the spirit of
My feelings are
May
hurt
the
right
4th be with you. If you say it to us, we'll just be like, I know.
That's fucked
Star
up.
Wars.
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt too.
No, we do love you though. We just and like I've even
Speak for
said.
yourself, because Kuyurish doesn't say it.
Well, let me tell you why I
She
don't
had to
say
say
I
I
love you.
miss you to him 4 times before he said it back to her. She's like, I missed you.
Well, first off, remember
sorry.
that whole shit that I was saying, like I don't say I love you
Yeah.
because like the more you say it, the less it
Valuable.
yeah, the less value it is. Also, like I also said, when I was sure, I waited an extra 2 weeks. You know,
I'm the opposite. Like for me, I say I love you and I want to say it over and over again because I have this paranoia in my head that maybe I might not see you again, or I always want people leaving me knowing how much I love them. So like that's why I tell you guys all the time, bye guys, love you guys so much, or thanks for doing that, Kuya, I love you. And it's not because I'm overusing the word and it's losing value. For me personally, every time I say it, I really and genuinely mean it, you know?
Same.
Yeah. Like I don't just shit out I love you to you guys just because, or like my friends, or in a text. Like I'm kind of like you. Like if I don't mean it, you'll see the YA at the end instead of like the YOU, you know, something, or the LUV instead of the LOVE, you know. But when I say it, I mean it, you know.
there's one thing that I know that I did with my ex, or at the time she was my girlfriend, was a lot of her friends were saying, you guys are so like PDA or whatever, you know. So so we did this thing where like I would tell her, but then I don't say it. So if we're holding hands, I squeeze her hand twice, and it's like me saying I love you.
Oh, that's cute. Stop it.
Just kidding.
He's like, I squeeze it 143 times because 143.
Yep.
He's all one, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3.
What about the 637, guys? No, but yeah, that was one of the things. I have no idea how I started talking about that, but
Okay, let's reel it back. So from difference from dating to like
Monogamous.
serious relationship.
Wait, I have a question. Speaking of 143, was it much easier then to just go 143 on the pager?
Yep.
And then you didn't have to say it until later on.
When you really meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, hella. Yeah.
For all you guys watching, Google pager codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's the best. Okay, so we went from talking, so the stages technically to us, in our opinions, talking, to dating, to monogamous, and then obviously the obvious, right? Like
relationship
and family and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you think that, in your guys' experience, do you think that literal conversation is always necessary, or do you think, or have you experienced relationships where it was just natural and you kind of just knew?
it as long as there's an understanding,
Right.
The conversation doesn't necessarily have to take place, but yeah, I mean, like if you have a girl in the club and I'm DJing and she's looking up at me and it's like, no, I'm good, that's my man. It's like, okay, well, you don't have to say boyfriend, you don't have to say like I love you or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little trickier because, like, I think that's why I'm really bad at like online dating. It's because most of the people that I've dated before, I knew them beforehand. You know, like whether it was a coworker, somebody
Yeah.
at school, like a friend of a friend, that kind of thing. So when you go out on that first date, like that first, like you actually go out on a first date. It's not like I want to be at a coffee shop to be safe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
So when you go out on a first date, you know that the minute that you guys actually decide that you're going to go together, there's an interest there.
Right, because you've known each other previous.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But now with like online dating, you just like, oh, you want to meet at a cafe? Let's
You're
see if this
literally
works
meeting
out.
a stranger.
Yeah, because you can't spend all this time texting.
By cafe, we mean Cafe Lou. FYI.
I did.
Yeah,
But that was like the funnest part for me when I used to do that.
Going to Cafe Lou?
Yeah, definitely.
the online dating.
Yeah, like I just got a high and a thrill off of it.
Meeting someone new.
Yeah, because it's just like,
Well, see, but the thing is, like, I think for girls, though, we go back to that. It's like I think it's a high and a thrill because you have so many options. Like for me, I know that that's probably gonna be the only one that month or that year,
Yeah.
at least online wise. And
Yeah, I
it's
can see that.
nerve wracking.
I can
could
see
definitely
that.
see
I
that.
definitely don't feel for guys. I mean, I feel for guys, not don't feel for guys. I feel for gentlemen because I feel like it takes a lot more risk, for you to put yourself out there. So I kind of feel bad that they have that responsibility. But then you flip it, but girls like also get a bunch of these like you don't know what their
Weirdos.
intentions are, like
Oh, yeah.
weirdos. So it goes both ways.
going back to what you were talking about earlier about how when the guy comes off like too strong because you know that he has more feelings for you than you do yourself. Some of you guys need to calm the fuck down.
Oh my gosh. So there's this guy that, so speaking of that, when you're like, is there a guy that like you didn't define it and he thought that you guys were like there? I had this really good friend and we were legit like homies, right? Like we would kick it all the time. We would hang out all the time. He was an artist. He ended up using me as his model for like this painting for school, right? And then fast forward, he made like a wall mural of me, right? It's like full blown body, whatever. And then like I'm just thinking that he's like my homie, right? This whole
Yeah.
time and then I later found out that he was like super mad that I wasn't in love with him. Like I had to hear that through one of our friends, and he was like, she led me on, like she's so nice to me, and she does this and she does that, and she hangs out with me all the time. And someone had to like set him straight, They were like, just because she's nice to you, it's because she's a nice person. It doesn't mean she's in love with you,
Technically, I know it's facts, but you let him on.
No, because I mean,
the minute he painted you on a fucking wall as a mural, and that should have been the first sign going, what the fuck? And
I did say that.
No, but I'm saying like it's because you continued to be nice to him, and in the same way, it almost like you didn't like stop him right then and there.
I didn't tell him to draw a fucking painting of me. Like, what the hell?
Queer rich.
And he was my friend previously.
I'm saying you guys are homies, but he starts using you for a project. Like art is not necessarily one that you just do. You don't paint girls just to paint girls. It's a passion. When you're sitting there and those brush strokes and everything else,
I wasn't sitting there. He took a picture of mine and started painting me without me knowing.
Look, I don't go around just painting like. Remember in the Titanic, paint me like one of your French girls.
Well, I think in my defense, that's where the conversation had to happen was after that painting happened.
No, but what I'm saying that in his head, once he painted it, and then if you kept going on, you kind of did lead him on.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't keep going. That's when the conversation happened. Was when the painting happened. Like I was like, hold on a minute, why did you paint me? Like this is kind of crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I thought.
See,
that
I
you
was
just
under the impression that like you just kept on getting these gifts from the guy.
No. He
Okay.
painted that big painting, and I was like, whoa, like it overwhelmed me, And that's when my friends were like, why did you do that? And he was like, because like we've been talking, and like they're like, she doesn't see you like that, and I had to tell him that too, like we're friends, right? Like this is a little elaborate, we're friends, and he's just like. And then not to me, but to my friend behind my back, I can't believe she fucking led me on. And she was like, how did she lead you on? Like, you're the one that chose to draw this painting of her. That's why she's telling you this is inappropriate, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can so back you up on that because I had an instance like that, and he took my kindness as like flirtation, and I'm like, dude, it wasn't even like that. I just wanted to make sure you got home okay.
Yeah, exactly. So as men, help us to understand.
So that's the whole thing is just understand. It's like I said before in a previous podcast a couple of weeks ago, like an hour ago. You don't have to agree with us. Just understand.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you didn't know to think of it in that thing. It's like, remember, we we don't get as much, success rate as girls do. So anything that we look at that's being that's nice. Now I'm not talking about me or Rich, but I'm talking about like, the general male population. If they feel like they're being treated any little bit better than any other girl would treat them, they're thinking, okay, maybe this is my opportunity.
Yeah. Plus, guys are generally like the ones that are expected to make that first move, right? So a lot of times.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying a lot of times when you're nice to the guy, he has to take that chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, but you can't be mad when the chance doesn't work out.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely. And the whole thing is that we're not trying to say, look, Ari, you're wrong.
Yeah.
We're just saying, look at it, in
that way.
Like understand.
Understand it.
You don't have to agree. Just understand.
Oh no, I understand. But my point is like, you can't go, well, she led me on. No, I didn't. Because, for example, the way I treat you two is the same exact way I treat him, right?
Yeah.
We joke and there's no texting back then. It was paging, right? Like, so it's like texting or whatever. But if you showed up tomorrow and you were like, Ari, I blew up your picture that I took of you 3 weeks ago.
And I've been saving all the hairs that I've been finding.
And I go, whoa, Vince, that's not how I feel about you. And you go, you led me on. That's not fair.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean? Yeah.
Definitely not fair. I also understand it from your point of view.
But I get what you guys are saying too, that like you have to take that chance. I mean, even one of my best friends told me, a guy friend, he was like, the thing that you don't understand is even if we see you as platonic, right? There's still that thing we're hiding in our back pocket that if there's a chance that we would probably shoot our shot.
Like I agree with you, but I empathize with him. So that's basically it.
Yeah, I empathize with the artist, right? Because I know that feeling when you're sitting there and you're drawing somebody special. It's almost like an out of body experience. It takes a lot of emotion and it takes a lot of like just energy to create that piece.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, the man must have been amazing. You missed out. Are you still friends with him?
No. And he still was like in love with me after that happened. Like we stayed friends, even though I said very clear that I didn't feel about him that way. And I was still just as nice to him. And he still was very like, he would still want to do things for me and things like that. Not do things like he would still like comment nice things on my pictures or stuff like that. Like I'm not a person that takes, so like I never let him buy things for me or pay things or anything like that. But like we would still go out and he's, when are you going to change your mind, Ari? It's like, I'm not gonna, like you don't be mad at me because I'm just a nice person. Like that's all that is.
You got to give him props for trying.
Yeah, no, I do give him that. Yeah. But then like what me and Lonnie are talking about, you have to understand when it's like, how do we tell you no and then you keep pursuing and then we're a bitch because we're telling you no. Like when you're choosing to keep pursuing,
Well, that's the whole accountability thing. Like they need to just accept it.
I don't know. It's just so difficult because sometimes it's all about the chase too.
But you have to know the difference between like a cat and game banter, cute chase, and like
if I'm telling you I need my space, give me my fucking space.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if I wanted you to be here with me, then I'd be like,
yeah. I think some dudes take the whole saying of like dust yourself off and try again. I think some of them are taking that shit way too literal. Yeah, because it's like if I'm dusting you off 2, 3, 4 times, don't try again. Now you're just making yourself
right,
and vice versa. Like girls that like go and throw themselves at men, and like, oh man, if I do this, maybe they'll like me. If I change myself like this, maybe they'll like me. It's the same thing. It's like, bitch, get a clue, like
yeah. And don't fucking pull one of those that are like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends over here, and then you fucking end up showing up, and it's like, oh, what are the odds of you showing up like this motherfucker?
But at the same time, let's be honest, girls aren't 100% saying what they feel. For example,
you're right.
When I fought with a girl, this was one of the funnest breakups I've ever had. She was basically drunk, and I was just like, yo, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And she's like, oh, you don't want to deal with this? Okay, fuck it. Let me out. So I pulled over and I said, get the fuck out. And that was the last time I saw her. That was awesome. My favorite breakup. But yeah, like, but she was sitting there and she's like, I can't believe you would like kick me out here, blah blah. You asked to get out, so say what you mean. If you're gonna get mad at me and storm off, don't expect me to
chase you.
Yeah.
See, I'm not one of those girls. I'm super. I say what I mean. It's like that's why I get fucking annoyed when women are like silent treatment or like, oh, I'm gonna
but see,
test
there
him.
are
I'm gonna
these
test him. Like,
there
stop
are
it.
these games that kind of mind fuck us. So
Yeah.
so it's going to be like if she doesn't say exactly what you expect to hear, maybe she's just testing me.
Oh, that's like trauma, right? Like maybe I am saying what I mean, but like in your head, because women tend to not to. You're like, what is she really?
I'm not justifying this.
Yeah,
like guys, like pay attention, but. Yeah, there's accountability again that girls are gonna play these games. Don't be surprised when we actually like act up on it or whatever.
So
like don't challenge me to like, oh fuck you, blah blah blah. You think you're a big man? Hit me then. And then when we do, they get all surprised. It's like
You need to stop talking about hitting females on here.
So back to the stages of
Right.
Can we keep this like on the good side? Yeah. What part we're here?
of the relationship, can you hit each other?
We're like so traumatized.
I know we always bring back our trauma. Oh no.
We're always talking about like the bad side of our experiences. Like I'm over. Like first of all, where is this mural? Is it still up somewhere?
No, I'm sure he threw it away or burned it.
Oh,
after,
it's actually like a painting.
Yeah, no, it's a painting. Yeah.
I thought it was like on the side of like.
Oh no,
Building or
like,
something.
like
Okay.
a
National
canvas,
City.
like a canvas paint.
I
Like a
thought it was
large
like the one
canvas.
I did.
What? Yeah, right. If there was a mural of me, I'd be taking fucking selfies behind it, like, hey, look at this shit right here. No. So back to defining the relationship. What does a healthy conversation like that look like? Obviously, Rich showed us his version of that.
It's like this. So like, me, you.
Oh, this? No, I'm just kidding.
She loves me. She loves me. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Lonnie, as a female, how would you like a guy to approach that relationship or that situation?
Which stage?
The defining it, like getting ready to define it.
From talking to dating?
Well, I think we kind of discussed that earlier, right? That like you don't really need to talk about that part because it's like so early. So like maybe from like dating into like
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Well, to rewind a little bit, I would want to be talked to about that.
How? Like how would you want him to approach you without feeling like overwhelmed or pressured or?
Oh, I mean, going from like talking to dating, I still would want to be talked to only because then I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to go to that portion of that, what is that timeline, whatever you want to call it?
The exclusive.
Yeah. I'd just be like, hey, I'm not talking to anybody else. Are you talking to anybody else?
So is that how you would like the man to approach you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You could just, if a guy was approaching
That.
me,
Just
and
do
to-
the fingers.
No, I'm posting a poll and I'm tagging you on it, and there's a yes or no.
Are we together? Yes or no?
this little paper thing.
Oh fuck yeah!
hey, I had fun making those. The Chinese
remember
fortune
that.
cookie
Yeah.
thingies.
I actually know how to make that stuff.
Do you like
I think
me?
I do
Yeah.
too. Okay, no, legitly, if he were to talk to me and be like, hey, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, what's up? And then he can be like, well, I really like you and I'm not really talking to anybody. And I was seeing if you like me or if we're on the same page. And then I'll say either yes, no, whatever the fuck, how I felt. And let's say like it all goes smoothly. He'd be like, okay, well, how do you feel about us being exclusive? That's how I want to be talked to.
How would you want to be let down if he wasn't on the same page as you? Like, say you're like, so I kind of like, we're talking and I'm really into you and I, want
Like
to see.
opposite, like I'm into him, but he's not into me.
Right.
Or you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what his
Oh, like
status is.
questioning it.
Yeah.
I'd bring it up the same way. Like, hey, I just want to put it out there. I am really feeling you. I like these qualities about you. Are you like, am I the only one that's feeling this way, or
Like, do
are
see
you
it going
feeling
the same direction?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
I'm
like
so
it.
opposite.
Okay, let's hear yours.
Yeah.
No, I test the waters. Like I said, casually throw in that whole babe title. You know, like
so you're
if
more
we're-
indirect.
Yeah, because like there's no awkward phase. Because if I like if we're chilling and it's like, dude, I'm super tired. I'm probably gonna get some Starbucks. You want some, babe? And you're like, oh no, it's cool. Then it's all right, cool. Still gonna go. Come back. We're gonna continue our date or whatever it is that we're doing until like I get another opportunity where I can slide it in and waiting those
Slide it in.
like waiting those couple of weeks or whatever it is, or putting in that time and stuff like that where I feel like maybe she's still on the same page. But if I say that and then she just stops and is like, you called me babe, then I know it's like, okay, yeah. And it's a gradual thing. Like that's not that point where I know you really want to say something. Just say it.
No, go ahead, finish.
There's no way that I can finish this. I haven't proved my point already. So like, yeah.
Okay, if that was me and you're telling me that and you're like, oh, you want me to get you Starbucks, babe? I'd be like, babe, what do you mean? Like, are you trying to imply something?
Well, I'll just say, oh, it kind of slipped out. My bad.
Oh no, see that'll be a perfect. I'm gonna do that next time because that'd be perfect. She's like, babe, are you trying to imply something? Well, actually, yeah. Since me and you.
Segue.
So yeah,
this one.
Yeah. So me and you, like, we've been doing this.
Okay, then yeah, that's a good segue. But the way he brushed it off, like, it's whatever, then I would go talk to my homegirl and be like, yo, he said this to me. How the fuck do I let him down? Or what's the next step I should do?
But why do you have to let him down? Why can't you? Why can't it be one of those things? It's like, okay, well, I'm not there yet, but if you're patient, I might get there. Because I've seen a lot of what's it called? Proposal fails. Where like the guy proposes to the girl, and then like she's like, "Oh no, I can't do this."
I don't know why we're laughing.
No, but
because I can imagine him watching like a series of proposal fails videos.
well, yeah, that like shit is hilarious. Well, that's how I also like understand. Like, okay, I'm gonna fail at something, so why don't I just look at all the ways that I can fail, and I'm just gonna prepare myself so that I don't fail. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like maybe going to Parkway Plaza and proposing in front of DSW or something isn't a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
DSW.
Instead of watching like videos on like the perfect proposal, you're still watching how did he fail and how do I not do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Trauma. Yeah. So how would you want a girl to gently let you down if she's not ready to go to that next stage of the relationship?
No, just say like Lonnie did. If she cringes and says babe, then I'll be like, okay, well, my bad, I got caught up. So, Lonnie, do you want something from Starbucks? Yes or no?
So you don't care if she said babe or if she said, oh, I'm not quite there yet. You don't have a preference of how to be.
I'd actually let her, I'd rather she cringes and looks at me like that as opposed to engaging in a awkward conversation where it's like, I'm not really there
avoidance
yet.
is his way, guys.
Like if some girl actually goes babe, and I'm like, I'll probably be sarcastic and I'm gonna go, oh, I'm sorry, Lonnie, would you like something from Starbucks, babe?
But would that deter you from would it make you start to question if she didn't react in the way that you wanted?
Yeah, you'd probably start to just kind of like, well, I think your instinct, right? Your survival instinct,
right?
You'd protect yourself. Like even if you don't think so, mentally you're gonna protect yourself from that kind of
natural,
like,
right? That's kind of what I'm getting to.
Yeah, you would just go, oh, okay, and then you just kind of like, I'll be honest, like if I was at that level. And I got kind of like
low-key rejected.
Low-key rejected like that. I'd probably be like thinking about it like maybe like half the day.
Right.
I'd be like,
Ari.
See, this one's like, I'll just brush it off. I'm like, no, I would think about that a little bit.
This is how I look at the flip side of not brushing it off is like, hey babe, I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Do you want anything?
Babe.
What I meant to say? Can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, even like, what was I going to say?
But Queer Rich is the happy medium. He wouldn't cry, but he's going to think about it a little bit, right?
But you saying babe, though, if she is into you, at least for me, I would think about that for a really long time. I think it's the way I said babe, like I meant it as like a reaction, like, whoa, that was really unexpected.
Yeah.
But I'm going to think about it for a little while and I'm going to bring it up to you and be like, hey, I heard that babe slip up. Like, So what's up?
Well,
with that?
there's a different tone between babe and babe. You'd be like, you're, trust me, Vince is not just going, you want something from Starbucks, babe, looking the other way. He's looking for clues for that for you to reciprocate.
Right.
So if
Yeah, you're still in my peripheral. Even though I'm trying to be casual about it, this is premeditated. I might be pretending that I'm on Yelp looking for the closest Starbucks and just be like, hey babe, I don't know this area. Do you want something from Starbucks? Which one's the closest one?
It's so different for us.
But I still see in my peripheral.
you might not have heard it, but you heard the babe.
Yeah.
I want to know from your opinion, honestly, like, how would you react
If what?
if that whole scenario went down for you?
Like if they called me babe and I wasn't ready for it?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm such a bad. I would just probably like, and you guys, I've talked about this before. This is my trauma, right? If someone called me babe and I wasn't there yet, if I'm being completely honest, I probably would shut down and just ghost them for the rest of my life.
Don't call Hari babe.
It's a lot easier for me to deal with.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So there's this guy that was super into me. He came to my work, brought me flowers, like whatever. And the dating was really good. You know, like we went on our dates. He was really into me. And then we ended up, sleeping together. And he texted me a bunch after we slept together. And it took a time. It's like it was like a one-night stand. Like we went on dates and stuff like that, and then we finally slept together. And then I realized he was really into me, and this is the toxicity in me, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit, he's way past me, so I never slept with him again after we slept.
Wow.
So messed up.
I know. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I was walking downtown with Ackright, like hand in hand, and I ran into that guy like years later.
Oh my
and
God.
he nudged me while I was walking past him because he was like, yeah, I remember you, bitch. Like one of those kind of things. But that was me before. Like, I don't think I would do that nowadays, but that's how I dealt with that shit before. It wasn't like, let's have a conversation. It was like, well, that's a tough conversation to have, so I just won't have it. Even though I knew it was fucked up.
It's so,
Don't feel
it's so
guilty.
tricky when it's the guy saying it to the girl. But I think if a girl ever tried that, it'd probably make me like focus more. Like, oh, is it could work out, I guess. It'd be like, oh, hey, there's a clue.
But here's the double standard: is like it was done to me, right? And I was so fucking upset. I was like, I got ghosted. Like, who the fuck does that? Like, we slept together. You know what I mean? Like,
well, for me too, I would drop a little bit of hints of if I like you or not.
I'm the same way. Like, I think it's pretty obvious for me.
Yeah.
Personally, when I like a dude, the guy is gonna know. Like, I'm very obvious when I like a guy.
Same.
I'm not a shy girl. Like,
Same.
I'm gonna tell you I want that shit. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on the person too.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's honestly the whole game playing of like beginning stages is weird. Go ahead.
Your
Vin.
message, remember how he sent us this message, if I can talk about it, when you said, is this a red flag of mine? When you said that you found out that the girl was checking you back out.
the weird flex.
Yeah. So like that's defining the relationship, right? So like, so what if the girl like likes you and you're kind of like, ugh, like you shut down? Is that like, how come you're like that?
That's why I was laughing. Yeah. So there was one time, I feel so bad for this.
See, I'm not the only fucked up.
There was one. It was uncontrollable. She called me. She called me babe. She's like, oh babe. I was like,
oh no. That's like as bad as you're dapping a guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you laughed at her?
I giggled at the statement. I didn't laugh at her.
What did she say? Did she say it, or did you play it off too?
I tried to. There was no recovering.
No,
That
but
was
did she play it off, or did she act hurt by it? I mean,
She acted
hurt. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Poor baby.
Yeah, but it's like we never did anything together, and she had no reason or right to call me that.
Note to self: don't call these guys babe.
Right.
They don't like it unless it's for real.
Babe.
Well, it's funny too because like there's so many people, like we have friends like Naomi, like Arahi, or I don't even know. Arahi. Yeah. And that's just their normal vocabulary. So
Well,
I don't
I
even
say
think
babe to everyone.
Yeah, I don't even think that like even means anything to me anymore.
Our channel was literally called Babes Uplifted.
Yeah.
Before, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's if a girl ever was sending me signals and they're like, "Hey, babe, do you want to go somewhere?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a babe now, huh? Okay, cool."
I think that's a healthy way of kind of like addressing it, where you kind of make it lighthearted, but you're still questioning it.
Yeah,
It's a good way to do
but,
it too.
yeah. I mean, I'm not like Vince that will just like completely shut down.
I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like for me, you'll know because like I'll sit maybe like a little bit closer to you, or like, oh, hold on, rewind. I used to play this trick when I was younger, where I do like light touches, like oh yeah, come here, and it's not instead of like, oh hey, can you come over here? I'd be like, oh, come here.
Maybe that's why people get me fucked up, because I'm also very naturally affectionate. So like, I'm sure you guys have felt it. Like when I walk by, I'll like touch your guys' backs, or like, I'll like, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to chill the fuck out because
Yeah.
like I'm just a nice person like that.
you have guys
like,
who end up painting you at that point.
But I've had it where it was reversed back on me, and I wasn't feeling him, and I'm like, bro, I played that game too. Like that shit I don't fall for that shit.
So it's okay.
I know it's okay for me to do it, but not for them. But I make it clear if I like you or not.
It's,
If I keep telling you we're just friends, I just want to get to know you as a friend.
Yeah. So is that not okay if we're that naturally nice, affectionate, or like whatever babe person, and we tell you that we're not feeling you like that? Do you guys think it's okay to behave that way if we are, as long as we're clear with our intentions?
Well, it was like one of those things that I said. I'm not responsible for what you hear. I'm only responsible for what I say. So that's your bad if you can't understand human interaction.
I mean, male. I mean, boys and girls, men and women, they're only platonic because at some point somebody agrees or they finally understand that there's no way that they're gonna end up or sleeping together.
Yeah, like right now. I'm just kidding.
So do you think that it is possible? Maybe that's a different podcast. Like,
Yeah.
Is it really possible to have platonic opposite sex friendships?
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
any.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Once you figure out you're not gonna sleep with each other.
But in the beginning, you don't think that it can just start off. You have to figure that out.
Can you define platonic for me?
Yes.
What's
Okay.
what's
I
platonic?
think that if I'm talking to a girl and I'm not attracted to her, then we're friends.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so I agree too that you can, because some people are like, I don't think you can be platonic friends with the opposite sex, but I think you can be,
But if there's a girl that she's what I consider my type,
That's
then-
where you go automatically first.
no, it'd be like you're kind of like hung in the balance, right? And then eventually, if you know that whether or not they're married or they have a boyfriend, or then you're like, oh, now we're friends. But once they get rid of that husband or that boyfriend, you kind of back it there until you figure until there's something significant or something that tells you it's not going to work out between you
I
two
see.
ever.
So it can stay platonic as long as that forever stamp is there.
So then does it start platonic, then talking, then?
I mean, that's how it used to be, but before the age of internet dating.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've seen her at like homies parties. I've seen her at school. I've seen
Right.
She works at the store next door to my work or whatever. She worked at the mall. I work at the mall. We see
Yeah.
each other at the food court.
So it goes platonic to friends with benefits to
There you go.
talking
We
to
forgot
dating.
that. The friends
Can
with
you
benefits.
skip?
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go from friends with benefits and it's like, oh shit, I guess this is our
I think
anniversary.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, I've never been like the whole friends with benefits vibe. I mean, I don't know. Because friends with benefits never works.
because it turns into relationships
Relationships.
or someone gets extremely hurt. I agree with that.
And it's happened both with the same person.
I've done both too. Different people, obviously, but I've done both.
Yeah.
I have no input on this.
You've never had a friends with benefits?
Well, it always turned into a relationship.
Okay, so yours
Yeah.
always turned into a
I
relationship.
think.
Well, then it wasn't necessarily friends with benefits. It was a relationship.
Yeah, that
it was a
grew.
courting stage.
That we fucked fast.
Yeah, you just slept with them immediately.
Exactly.
I waited a couple months. Yeah, no, yeah. Was there any other stages that we didn't cover?
Marriage, but that doesn't count for anything.
Yeah. That's just
That's kind of like the obvious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, oh, a ring. Maybe.
So I think a lot of girls, correct me if I'm wrong, Lonnie, we kind of know pretty early on if a guy is something that we're attracted to. Guys, generally speaking, do you know just as early on, or do you have it often be something that needs to grow as you get to know? I mean, obviously there's like, well, yeah, once I get to know her, I find out that like she's a bitch, then no. But like, generally speaking, instantly, like, is it an instant attraction thing, or is it like a she has to open her mouth and then I'll figure it out type of a thing?
for me, it's always like you have to kind of just go day by day. You don't have to necessarily like everything, but then there's certain things that are just a given that has to be kind of like everything has to kind of work out.
There's boxes that she has to check before you.
Yeah, but a lot of it is just like it's like, is that something you can tolerate? Mm-hmm. Is that a deal breaker?
Yeah.
But for me, deal breakers are not necessarily like something huge red flags.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, or some people have like deal breakers, like a very tiny thing is a deal breaker. For me, it's like I can cope with certain things like that. Mm-hmm. But then again, you still end up always wondering like, well, is that going to be a problem towards the end? Like, it probably takes me longer if they're like mini red flags.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Vince looks like he's so ready to talk. What happened?
I just, for me, the girl has always already earned her worth. If she can last long enough to get to that point, like where we're in a relationship or whatever. So I already give them like once, like I said before, I don't have a talking phase where I'm talking to multiple people. Even in my talking phase, I'm already monogamous. But it's up to the girl to not lose that value.
I think I can see what you're saying.
So you're
automatically
usually only
like,
interested in one girl at a time.
yeah. And like if we're dating or if we're talking or whatever, I already know like you could potentially be my wife. Now it's the dumb shit that makes me like not want to be with you later on versus like, you may look at me as a friend, but I might grow on you. To me, girls are already perfect. It's the shit that they say or do that
Like
Takes that value
Yeah.
away. So you almost work in the backwards direction.
Like I understand. To me, girls are up here, and then they work this way, and then to girls, I'm probably starting here, and then going up as they get to know me or whatever.
Trust issues. That's what that
Mm.
Trauma.
For me, it's the opposite.
Observation.
Girls have to come. You build with them as opposed to me trying to chase that ladder. I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting.
it's very interesting.
I mean, when you're talking about females having an instant attraction, for me, it just depends on the person. Like if we vibe really well and our conversations are really great, then yeah, I'll be instantly attracted to you. But if I still feel like something, then I'm like, maybe I'll give him a chance. But if I still see some things that are just kind of like, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah, but remember that guys are generally like attracted to looks, so that's why I place them so high right off the bat. So in conclusion,
basically
Christine,
every
just
girl.
let me know what stage we're at, and I'll sign off.
Nice.
Just give it to him, Christine.
I still need to know who Christine is.
Ackright knows.
Christine.
Oh, that Christine.
I guess so. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Ackright knows.
That one. I
that
don't know
one.
who that is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting.
Super.
So far. We're trying to end this podcast like how we're trying to talk about our next phase of the relationship.
So, like, are we done here?
Did we get through all the phases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, me, you.
You,
Done.
us, you.
Apple Podcast can
Yeah.
continue.
Basically,
Subscribe. You
The
ready?
Babes 10.
in my talking stage, I'm probably talking to like different people. But then as soon as one of them says yes, then I'll just concentrate on that one.
Okay.
And what I mean by say yes is like, start saying yes to like hanging out and doing things.
Right, like where you guys are kind of both investing the same amount of effort, kind
Yeah.
of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kuya Rich is the Instagram. Ladies.
Oh, we haven't been plugging our Instagrams too. You know what? Just follow the BUplifted Instagram, and then you'll find us.
All of us, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Get it.
All right, you guys. So I guess in conclusion, make sure that you have conversations defining the relationship, or you can take Vince's route of just throwing out some words and seeing how it works out for you. And just remember that, like,
Sugar plums.
everybody has different ways of processing their stages.
Kitten. What's up, kitten?
Oh, hell no.
Never.
Our next episode is going to be the worst and best pickup lines.
And pet names.
Oh, I'm down for that. That's fun. Pickup lines. First off, there's no such thing as a good pickup line, but
Do people use those? Okay, wait, we're going off.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
save
yeah.
that for
I'm already
next time.
cringing. Okay.
I've heard some.
I have pickup tactics.
Bitty bitty boppity boo. Boo boo.
Bye bye.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit us up on all of our socials and find us on Instagram at the BUplifted Instagram. And then don't forget to order Mikey's Meals for 10% off your first order. That's at mikeysmeals.com. And our code is TheBabes10 to get 10% off your first order. And please be sure to listen to us on all of the major podcast platforms.
That's right. On your early morning drive, Monday morning, 7 a.m. We're like the radio.
That's right. We'll start your morning right. Your day,
Right.
your week. Right.
Yes. Talking about dicks.
So, dicks and vaginas.
All right.
Just kidding.
You guys.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
I love you, babe.
Me, you.